Exclusive contracted novel by Feilu Fiction Network. Crazy, are you using science fiction as your divine realm? Qin Mu traveled to the point where everyone could become a deity, ignite a divine fire, condense his divine spirit, and design his own subordinate world. And everyone has their own divine realm, as well as the races that live within it. Orcs. Elves. It's all weak and explosive. My design is ASCII paradise. But why are all these buildings alive? 33 Heavenly Ascension Platform. Can you protect Tianhe? If not, let me come. Orbital Star Destroyer Cannon Immortal Sword. What are you talking to them about? I'll go over and kill them with one sword. Sky Mothership Lingxiao Treasure Hall. Shut up, everyone. The earthly mansion and the Qu Yue Ship are about to finish the opposite side. Ghost Soldier Ghost General Star Destroyer. I'm fighting elite. Weapon Meng Po Tang. Leave me some prisoners for experiments. Finally, one day, Qin Mu was shocked to find that he had not only become a divine being, but also conquered countless planes and crystal wall systems. Feilu Novel Network reminds you that this novel and its characters are purely fictional. If there are any similarities, they are purely coincidental and should not be imitated. Chapter 1. Graduation Design. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The graduation project is about to begin. I'm really looking forward to it. I'm not sure if I can design an extraordinary world this time. Every year, only 1/5 of graduates are able to design an extraordinary world. I'm so nervous. If I can't create an extraordinary world, I'll have to work for others in the future. I don't have such high expectations. As long as I can design a world and graduate smoothly, I have been repeating a grade for 6 years. Jiangqing University. On a huge square. A group of students in their early 20s are whispering to each other. The expressions on each face are different. Or expect. Or anxious. Or nervous. Or anxiety. Various emotions, one after another. They are graduates of the current cohort of Jiangqing University and are about to face the final assessment before graduation, that is, the graduation project. In the crowd, Qin Mu calmly looked at everything in front of him. He is not a person from this world. It has been 3 years since I traveled to this parallel world. Over the past 3 years, he has gradually gained an understanding of the situation in this world. This is a world of human beings and gods. Everyone is required to submit a graduation project and they graduate from university. And the content of the graduation project, it's about designing a different world. The strength of the other world will also directly affect their direction after graduating from university. Someone has evolved the energy of fighting spirit, and all living beings in the world can become fighters. Someone has evolved magical energy, and all living beings in the world can become wizards. Someone has evolved spiritual energy, and all living beings in the world can cultivate immortality. In summary, if we can design an extraordinary world, we are destined to leap carp over the dragon gate and soar into the sky. And if we design an ordinary world, I can only become a pitiful worker. Specially providing resources for those extraordinary worlds in exchange for rewards. Quiet. At this moment. In the center of the square, above a high platform. A white-haired mentor suddenly scanned the entire room. The whispers at the scene disappeared instantly. Today is the day for you to ignite the divine fire and obtain the essence, and you will also begin your 1-month graduation project. In the 4 years of university, the school has taught you all the theoretical and practical knowledge about the design world. What you learn will depend on your performance next. Now, everyone is queuing up one by one to come forward and light the divine fire in front of me, distributing the source. The words fell. Then some faculty and staff began to maintain order and lined up all graduates. Step forward one by one. After every student steps onto the high platform, the elderly mentor will shine brightly and release terrifying energy. help students ignite the divine fire between their eyebrows. Then distribute a copy of the original crystal. Qin Mu also stood in the queue, calmly watching the scene before him. Helping others light a divine fire is an ability only possessed by higher gods. And I want to become a superior god. The prerequisite is to design an extraordinary world. In the ordinary world, it is impossible to give birth to a superior god. Qin Mu, come up and light the divine fire to claim the origin. Not long after, he shouted his name. Then he walked up to the high platform and let his mentor point his fingertips at the center of his brow. Next up, in the depths of his eyebrows, there seemed to be a flame emerging out of thin air. It started to burn fiercely. Subsequently, a crystal that was crystal clear and full of energy was also handed over to him. Looking at the source in his hand, Qin Mu was somewhat stunned. He has been in this world for 3 years now. Very clear about the role of crystal origin. The origin, as the evolutionary foundation of the other world, all things evolve from it. The growth of the original world will also directly promote the growth of divine fire. The more intense the divine fire burns, the stronger the potential of the evolved world. It seems we need to choose a direction. Take a deep breath. Qin Mu began to recall the knowledge he had learned about his graduation project over the past few years. In the theoretical course of Jiangqing University, several common graduation project plans have been listed. The 3 easiest to design among them are the high martial civilization, magical civilization, and supernatural civilization. These 3 are considered the lowest level among extraordinary civilizations. So the design difficulty is not that high, and the success rate of completion is also very high. Because high martial civilization, as long as you find a way to transform the source into internal power. Magic civilization, as long as the origin is transformed into magic. The same goes for supernatural civilizations, as long as the origin is transformed into supernatural powers, the process is not complicated. But these civilizations compared to true extraordinary civilizations, there is a significant gap. While Qin Mu was pondering, several classmates discussed with each other and walked towards him. I have already decided, it's about supernatural civilization. I have confidence in completing this graduation project. I have also recognized reality and chosen a magical civilization, striving to design a magical world. At least it can be considered an extraordinary civilization. By the way, Qin Mu, what about you? As a traveler, Qin Mu's academic performance has always been good. Therefore, these students are also more concerned about his choice. Qin Mu raised his head upon hearing the words. The corners of the mouth couldn't help but curl up. Just now, regarding this graduation project, he has found the most suitable solution for him. The new book sets sail, seeking the support of all the big shots. 3 things to do when reading. Read, collect, and reward. Chapter 2. Evolution of Technological Civilization. You are listening at Novel Full.Audio. I didn't expect that textbooks in this world would classify technological civilization as ordinary civilization. Recalling the content in the textbook, Qin Mu sighed a bit. It's obvious. People in this world completely unaware of the potential and limits of technological civilization. You should know. The top-notch technological civilization has completely crossed the boundaries of space and time, with unlimited potential for future growth. A drop of water can destroy a world. 2-directional foil can collapse the solar system into a piece of paper. In theory, as long as the dimensions are high enough, technology can continue to develop without limits. What? Do you want to design a technological civilization? After hearing Qin Mu's choice, the other classmates were full of disbelief. I just feel like he's joking. Technological civilization, in their eyes, belongs to the most ordinary civilization. Use this as a graduation project, and after graduation I'm afraid we can only provide resources for other extraordinary civilizations to earn rewards. There is almost no future ahead. Qin Mu shrugged his shoulders without much explanation. Soon. Above the square. Graduates have successively ignited the divine fire and obtained the origin crystal. They all dispersed and returned to their homes. They all started their own graduation project attempts. And Qin Mu, I also returned to my residence. At the first moment, as stated in the textbook, hold the original crystal in the palm of your hand. Next up. Burning divine fire. The divine fire in his eyebrows kept blooming with light and heat, slowly merging into the original crystal. Refine it in an instant. Boom. Qin Mu quickly sensed that a grey cloud suddenly appeared in the depths of his mind. And the divine fire is suspended above the clouds, quietly burning. This cloud is exactly the origin of what he has just refined. The next step should be to find a way to open up the world. Take a deep breath. Qin Mu began to follow what was taught in books, activate divine fire and origin, and forge the world. Boom. In my mind. Under the shining divine fire, the clouds rolled and surged. A grey land is slowly forming amidst clouds. And it continues to evolve. It's getting bigger and bigger. 1 kilometer, 2 kilometers, 3 kilometers in no time. The diameter has exceeded 1,000 kilometers. So far. Qin Mu stopped burning the source and kept the evolved world at a diameter of 1,000 kilometers. The scope is approximately equivalent to 2 provinces of the Earth in the previous life. Such a large area is exactly the standard range required for graduation design. If it's any bigger, not only does it waste its resources, but it may also increase the risk of failure in graduation design. Next, it should be about transforming the origin. Looking into the vast world in his mind, Qin Mu began to ponder the next step. Technological civilization, someone in this world has designed it before. But the technology they designed belongs to low-level technology. At most, firearms and bullets have been developed. Compared to those extraordinary civilizations that often move mountains and fill the sea, shattering the void, it is indeed not worth mentioning. Due to its own reasons, mainly because they have not evolved the core energy of technological civilization. According to previous theories, there are 4 core forces of technological civilization. Strong force, weak force, gravity, and electromagnetic force. Strong force refers to the strongest interaction force between objects. For example, nuclear fusion and fission are actually insignificant applications of strong forces. To the extreme, strong forces can instantly cause the universe to collapse from within. Weak forces, when applied to the extreme, can distort time and space. And objects with mass have gravity. Once this power can be utilized to create black holes and terrifying destructive substances, it's completely understandable. As for electromagnetic force in daily life, the energy generated in any activity is actually electromagnetic force. It's almost ubiquitous. These 4 forces exist in all things in heaven and earth. No matter what civilization it is impossible to be separated from these 4 forces. Even if it is a cultivation civilization, as long as there is material and living beings, it is still impossible to escape from these 4 forces. Just how can we transform the origin into these 4 fundamental forces? But the difficulty of truly transforming these 4 forces is not average. Qin Mu frowned and began to ponder. At this moment. Ding. We have detected that the host is evolving into a technological world and technology systems are being bound. Ding. Loading progress. 1%. 10%. 60%. System binding completed. Open features. At present, it has the function of simulating evolution. The host can simulate the direction of evolution to correct the correct direction in real time. The host needs to accumulate enough resources to upgrade the system and unlock more features. The next moment, Qin Mu only felt a clear mind in his mind, and the functions and usage methods of the entire system were instantly clear. 5 full minutes have passed. Qin Mu breathed a deep sigh of relief in shock. He traveled through 3 years and finally awakened the system. And this system undoubtedly, it is what he lacks the most now. Although it is relatively rudimentary, currently it only has one function. But this simulation evolution function, it can help him deduce the most correct evolutionary path in the shortest possible time. To complete his graduation project this time. 3 things to do when reading. Read, collect, and reward. Chapter 333 Heavenly Machine Platform. You are listening at Novel Full.Audio. System, simulate the best energy conversion scheme. Qin Mu took a deep breath. Directly issued instructions. Ding. The simulation evolution function is activated, and we are currently analyzing the source. Ding. Parsing completed. There are 128,931 plans to transform the origin into the 4 fundamental forces. Evolving one by one. After hearing this sound from the system, Qin Mu couldn't help but swallow his saliva. Good guy. 120,000 options. If he were to evolve on his own, without extensive knowledge and experience of evolution, it would be impossible for him to evolve the 4 fundamental forces. No wonder the technological civilization of this world has always been classified as ordinary civilization. The passage of time is minute by second. In my mind, the system is running at full speed, and the results of evolution are listed one by one. 1 hour later, the sound of the system rings again. Ding. The plan has been successfully ruled out and 2 options with the highest possibility have been selected. Firstly, decompose the 4 fundamental forces, integrate them into the world, evolve creatures, impart knowledge, and climb technology. Secondly, decompose the 4 fundamental forces, integrate them into objects, defend heaven and earth, and form their own cycle. Upon hearing these words, Qin Mu couldn't help but furrow his brow. The first option, it's really too long. We also need to evolve creatures, impart technological knowledge, and let them climb on their own. During this period, it is easy to encounter various problems. The second option is relatively simple. Integrating the 4 fundamental forces into objects, suppressing the entire world and creating a cycle of its own. That is to say, he can simply skip the process of evolving creatures. And the object that integrates the 4 fundamental forces. I happen to have a plan. Think of it here. Qin Mu raised his lips and decisively chose the second option. The Sci-fi version of the Heavenly Court, the 33rd Heavenly Machine Platform, suppresses the world, and forms its own cycle. That's right. The artifact he wants to create is exactly the 33 heavens in the Sci-fi version. Integrate the 4 fundamental forces into it. On the one hand, suppress the entire world. On the other hand, it can also complete the transformation of its origin, suppress the world, and lay the foundation of technological civilization. Subsequently, Qin Mu began to brainstorm his graduation project in his mind. Ignite the divine fire. The origin of forging. With the refinement of the origin, over the earth with a diameter of 1,000 kilometers, a massive, modern, steel-poured airborne platform is slowly emerging. Not long after, it showcases its full picture. On the first day, the South Heavenly Gate stood towering, emitting a modern mechanical atmosphere. On the second day, a winding mechanical road. On the 30th day, the golden and dazzling Lingxiao Palace exudes an inviolable pressure. On the 33rd day, Dou leads the palace to suppress the entire heavenly court. Source conversion. Qin Mu waved his hand. All remaining sources are ignited by divine fire. Energy is rapidly depleted. The surging tide surged towards the 33rd heavenly platform according to the solution analyzed by the system. In this process, the four fundamental forces quietly emerged, silently incorporating into the 33 heavens. Boom! After integrating the four fundamental forces, this 33-fold day of mechanical infusion, continuously emitting a roar. It seems like experiencing a transformation. The earth below, with a diameter of 1,000 kilometers, has also become continuously solidified under the suppression of the 33 heavens. The whole world it is gradually becoming more perfect. Finally. I don't know how long it took, but the source was exhausted and transformed into four fundamental forces. The 30.3 layers of sky covering the sky are quietly suspended on the earth. The majestic and spectacular South Heavenly Gate. The golden and dazzling Lingxiao Palace. The profound and mysterious Do-Do Palace. Qin Mu was also deeply shocked by such a fantastic scene. The Sci-fi version of Tianhe, the first step has finally been designed by him. Boom! Suddenly, the divine fire in his eyebrows was driven by the growth of the world, and the flames became stronger and stronger. The light also became more and more vibrant. Next, it should be time to improve the 33 heavens. Looking at the world in my mind. Qin Mu continued to immerse himself in his mind and began to use the system to simulate and deduce the perfect plans for buildings such as the South Heavenly Gate, Lingxiao Treasure Hall, and Do-Do Palace. These are all his initial creations. The technological content is not high, and there is still much room for improvement. At the same time, Jiangqing University, World Observatory. Principal Chu Tianhe and a group of mentors are observing the evolution of this group of graduates. In the World Observatory, they can clearly see the situation of each student's graduation project. This batch of graduates seems to be much worse than the previous one. Chu Tianhe carried hands on his back and observed in the projected scenes of various worlds. After scanning a few worlds randomly, he frowned. And the group of mentors behind him also began to comment on various topics. There is indeed a gap. This student, who has evolved a supernatural civilization, actually made 3 basic mistakes. Many students lack confidence and choose mostly magic, abilities, and advanced martial arts. Wow! Surprisingly, someone has directly created a world with a diameter of 10,000 kilometers. How can the remaining resources be smoothly converted and resolved into energy? He doesn't just plan to build a regular civilization and specialize in cultivating resources in the future to become a worker, right? Overall, it's a lot worse than last year, but there are still a few people who have done well. Some have started designing a cultivation civilization. 3 things to do when reading. Read, collect, and reward. Chapter 4. South Heavenly Gate Renovation, Mirror of Demons. You are listening at Novel Full.Audio. Through the observation room. They can clearly see the situation of each student's graduation project. Some people have no intention of cultivating extraordinary civilizations from the beginning. But instead, make the most of the original source and expand the area of the world as much as possible. Because the larger the area, the more resources are generated. Of course, this will also lead to a serious decrease in the quality of the graduation project. The inability to generate extraordinary civilization also means that even if he graduates smoothly, he can only become a laborer to serve those higher civilized worlds. However, the mentors still found several outstanding graduates who have started working on high-level extraordinary civilization graduation projects. Li Mingyi's basic skills are very solid, and he has evolved a basic world of 1,000 kilometers. He has started energy analysis and is about to complete the complex transformation of spiritual energy. Zhao Qiao is also good. The direction of his energy conversion should be the ability of elves, and once it occurs, the next step is to try to cultivate and evolve elves. I didn't expect Lin Ji's heart to be so big that he tried to transform the top 20 difficulty ranked extraordinary world energy. Zuo's energy formula is too complex. Soon. This group of mentors discovered several top students from this batch of graduates. Full of anticipation. Chu Tiange's expression slightly improved as he watched the graduation projects of these students. Indeed, it's still possible. What is this student creating? Suddenly. He happened to walk up to Qin Mu's projection of a different world. I saw a magnificent building. On the Earth with a diameter of 1,000 kilometers, a huge building has emerged out of thin air. This huge building covers 33 floors. It's not an exaggeration to call it a spectacle. And each layer has a distinct structure. Nanshanmen, pavilions and towers, Yao Qi Yuyu, Lingxiao Baodian, Dudu Palace. Each type of architecture is incredibly exquisite and full of unique styles. But Chu Tiange remained expressionless and snorted coldly, absurd. It's simply absurd. Surprisingly, all the original power has been depleted to create this spectacle. And this giant building doesn't seem like a natural treasure, it's clearly a basic technological creation. Even if it's built at a macro level, what can it do? It seems that he is completely unaware of what graduation project really means. The mentors around heard this. They also came around one after another. At first glance, I was stunned by the magnificent and spectacular 33 heavenly wonders. The 33 heavens of mechanical style. The South Heavenly Gate, which can lift and land, even has an elevator that leads directly to the 33 heavens. It has to be said. The design of this giant building exceeded their imagination. But it has exhausted all its resources to create such a technological creation. It is obvious that the order is reversed. It seems that he is planning to follow the path of technological civilization, and he should have already given up on himself. Alas, from the perspective of appearance, this graduation project can be scored 12 points, but from the perspective of practicality in world integrity, it can only be scored 0 points. Such a clever idea, surprisingly choosing ordinary civilization. The mentors were whispering and feeling sorry for Qin Mu. Technological civilization is just the most ordinary civilization. The upper limit is really too low. Everyone, look. He's still designing this giant building. Suddenly. A mentor looked at the projection and exclaimed in surprise. Everyone heard the words. I couldn't help but look back at the projection of Qin Mu in a different world. I saw Qin Mu standing on the first floor of the suspended giant building, editing and modifying all the building structures on this floor. In the dormitory, Qin Mu sat cross-legged, gazing into the world of his graduation project. Using projection, he achieved the first level of the 33rd Heavenly Machine Platform. The first day is the most important foundation of the 33rd day and also responsible for the first defense of the 33rd day. Here stands the South Heavenly Gate. System, deduce and calculate how the mechanical structure of South Tianmen can maximize defense and attack. In my mind, Qin Mu has activated the simulation and deduction function. Although his previous evolution of the 33 heavens was spectacular, its internal structure was not precise, and there was still much room for improvement and improvement. Ding! The simulation deduction function is activated. Next up. The massive deduction data about Nanshanmen is instantly generated. The system has started a rapid calculation and deduction. Simulating the structure outside the South Tianmen Gate. Simulating the internal structure of the South Heavenly Gate. Energy debugging and absorption are currently underway. The system beeps one after another. Not long after. The final result was deduced. The results of this deduction total 93,724 types. We have selected the optimal solution according to the host's requirements, which can balance the ultimate attack and defense capabilities. A very complex data model of Nanshanmen suddenly appeared in Qin Mu's consciousness. It is filled with various parameters of the South Heavenly Gate. Looking at this perfect data model, Qin Mu couldn't help but take a deep breath. The consciousness projection stood in the first heaven and began copy homework. That's right. It's just copying homework. He has already obtained the most correct answer. Just follow these parameters and simply copy them, and you can edit the theoretically optimal South Heavenly Gate. Feilu's novel, Fei wants you to look good. Is anyone watching? If someone watches, it will be 20 on the first day. You are listening at novel full.audio. During the new book period, data is very important. Please, big shots, hit the author's face hard with flowers and evaluation tickets. As long as the flowers can pass 5,000 today or evaluate 300 votes. Or 5 monthly tickets. If one of the above 3 conditions is met, the author must make 20 changes on the first day. Also, set the rules for adding changes. For every 1,000 more flowers, add 1 more. For every 100 more evaluation votes, 1 change will be added. Not capped. During the new book period, data is very important. Please, big shots, hit the author's face hard with flowers and evaluation tickets. As long as the flowers can pass 5,000 today or evaluate 300 votes. Or 5 monthly tickets. If one of the above 3 conditions is met, the author must make 20 changes on the first day. Also, set the rules for adding changes. For every 1,000 more flowers, add 1 more. For every 100 more evaluation votes, 1 change will be added. Not capped. Feilu's novel, Fei wants you to look good. Chapter 5. Shocking Mentors. You are listening at novel full.audio. And as the ruler of the other world, he can call up everything in the world in a flash. Edit freely. 1 hour later. A brand new version of South Tianmen, full of Sci-fi atmosphere, reappeared in front of him. Standing on the first day. The first one to bear the brunt is a huge, silver shimmering metal gate. On both sides, there are carved 2 giant dragons spiraling in circles. It seems like a defender of the South Heavenly Gate. At the same time, at the top of the South Heavenly Gate, there is a huge mirror erected. Connected the original network of the entire world. As long as any living creature stands outside the South Heavenly Gate, regardless of past or present life, all information will be reflected in this mirror. And this South Heavenly Gate is also connected to the central control system. Even if a person is in the Lingxiao Palace on the 30th day, they can open the South Heavenly Gate in just one thought. Very convenient. Next, it's time to optimize the second day. Qin Mu took a deep breath. Lift your feet, move your steps, and enter the South Heavenly Gate. Jiangqing University. World Observatory. At this moment, the mentors who witnessed the renovation of the South Heavenly Gate were already stunned. Looking at a scene in the picture incredulously. The towering building of the 33 heavens was already enough to overturn their values. After all, in this world, such magnificent architecture has never appeared before. It is not an exaggeration to call it a spectacle. But just now Qin Mu's artistic transformation of the South Heavenly Gate, they were even more shocked and unable to speak. This is such an exquisite design. With such solid abilities, why did you choose technological civilization? South Tianmen. What is South Tianmen? Although this South Tianmen is produced by technological civilization and its power is not strong, it is good to keep as a handmade collection. I am willing to pay 500,000 world coins to purchase it. You can buy a copy of the world's origin with just 1 million world coins, but you're willing. My demon realm also happens to lack a gate. In the midst of shock, the group of mentors started discussing and exchanging ideas again. As the principal, Chu Tiange stared intently at the projection of Qin Mu's world. For a long time. You all have enough. Didn't you notice that this student's divine fire Is becoming more and more vigorous, he said in a deep voice. The words fell. These argumentative mentors, whose faces were red and ears were dry, were momentarily stunned and looked once again at the divine fire in the 33rd level sky. I couldn't help but take a breath of cold air. No, impossible. Everyone's face was filled with disbelief. Above the 33 heavens, a divine fire that was originally just a small flame at this moment, it has become the size of a torch. And with the continuous improvement of Qin Mu, it is gradually growing and becoming more prosperous. As a mentor, they are well aware that divine fire is closely related to the world. Generally speaking, the higher the level of the world, the more intense the divine fire will burn. Until to the extent that one has grown enough to ignite their divine character and advance to the divine position. In theory, the divine fire of the technological world, the growth rate is very slow. Throughout their lifetime, it is highly likely that they will not be able to ignite the divine spirit. Ranked first. Principal, his current growth rate of divine fire ranks first among graduates. Li Mingyi's Cultivation World, Zhao Qiao's Elf World, and Lin Ji's Ancestral Witch World are all ranked behind him. Suddenly, after observing the completion of other students, a mentor reminded them again. The crowd fell silent again. Good guy. How many top-notch and extraordinary cultural masterpieces actually rank behind Qin Mu? For a while, they all have some doubts about life. Could it be that Qin Mu's skillful use of technology in creating things has accelerated the growth of Xinhua? It is possible that the divine fire is closely related to every data in the world, and it is highly likely that the 33 heavenly buildings are too exquisite, which is why the divine fire ranks first. Perhaps wait a little longer, the extraordinary civilization has accumulated rich and abundant potential, and the speed of the divine fire's growth should be able to catch up in the future. The group of mentors glanced at each other and began to try to find various explanations. Mainly due to the phenomenon of Qin Mu and what is discussed in textbooks, it's completely opposite. From the beginning, there has been a trend of surpassing the three extraordinary civilizations in the field of science and technology. Civilization completely overturned their previous cognition. Okay, this phenomenon has also occurred before. As the principal, Chu Tiange is relatively calm. He waved his hand and said, "Let's continue to observe. It's still too early, anyway, there is still 1 month left until the completion of the project and the submission of the paper. 1 month is enough time to see which of these graduates has the most reasonable world design and the highest development potential. Creating a different world is not about the early stages, but rather the later development. Even many people are greedy for rapid development, leading to the collapse of their own world and resulting in failure in graduation. Even if it's him. I also don't believe that Qin Mu's path of technological civilization, growing up for a month, can still be on par with those extraordinary civilizations. Especially now many people have completed energy conversion. Next it is to cultivate the living beings and believers in the civilized world. And in the technological world, a group of mortals, with their firearms and machinery, cannot compare to the creatures in the extraordinary world. Feilu's novel, Fei Wants You to Look Good. Chapter 6. Ancestral Witch World and Immortal Cultivation World. You are listening at Novel Full.Audio. Jiangqing University. World Observatory. Observation. Still continuing. Although many mentors were amazed by Qin Mu's ingenuity in mechanical architecture design, none of them were optimistic about Qin Mu. After seeing Qin Mu gradually optimize and transform the second day, they all shifted their gaze. Start paying attention to the design situation of other graduates. Everyone, take a look. I didn't expect Lin Ji's evolution speed to be so fast that he is already starting to cultivate creatures. A mentor suddenly exclaimed in amazement. Everyone looked around one after another. I soon saw a world full of profound and vicissitudes. In the dormitory, Lin Gu sat cross-legged, completely immersed in his own world. On a land with a diameter of 1,000 kilometers. Everywhere is filled with the most primitive ancestral witch energy. These it is he who derived it by decomposing the source and transforming it. The conversion formula of ancestral witch energy is extremely complex, and in the extraordinary world, it can even rank in the top 20. Finally, the evolution has been completed. The next step is to perfect the world and cultivate creatures. Lin Gu took a deep breath and his eyes lit up. According to the textbook, as long as I can create the 12 ancestral witches in heaven and earth, the speed of igniting the divine fire will definitely rank first among graduates. As a top student, he has great confidence in his graduation project. With the civilization of ancestral witches, he must be able to rank first among the freshmen. Next up, Lin Gu began to restrain his mind. Slowly suspended on the land of Zuwu, gazing at the vicissitudes of the ancient land. Bited his fingertips directly. 12 drops of blood fell in a row. In an instant. Blood is like a rainbow, reflecting a brilliant brilliance. I, in the name of the Creator, sprinkle 12 essence and blood, and forge the body of the 12 ancestral witches. A grand and majestic voice resounds throughout the world. The world trembled in an instant. 12 drops of essential blood rapidly churned and steamed. Absorbed the most primitive ancestral witch energy from heaven and earth at an extremely terrifying speed. Vaguely. In the 12 drops of blood essence, there appeared 12 figures who were tens of zhang tall and seemed to be able to destroy the sky and earth with every move and gesture. They exude an extremely terrifying and powerful aura. In the flickering eyes, I looked down at the sky. After seeing Lin Gu floating in mid-air, the pressure from blood and the world made the 12 people tremble violently, and they immediately knelt on one knee, lowering their proud heads. 12 ancestral witches, pay respects to the ancestral gods. Lin Gu saw the situation. A pale face showed a smile. He succeeded. Successfully cultivated 12 ancestral witches. At the same time. Boom. In the sky above the ancestral witch world, that once extremely weak divine fire at the beginning, the wind rises and grows stronger. In no time, it surpassed Qin Mu and ranked first among graduates. Jiangqing University. In the World Observatory. Principal Chu Tianhe watched this scene. With a contented smile on his face, he said, "Not bad, not bad. This Lin Gu is a good seedling, and the world of ancestral witches is very well crafted. The cultivation speed of the 12 ancestral witches is also amazing." Other mentors also spoke up one after another. Zuwu's energy formula is so complex that it has been successfully transformed. His talent is indeed good. His divine fire ranks first, and I'll just say, how can the world of technology compare to the extraordinary world? If nothing unexpected happens, Lin Gu should be the top graduate of this year. Don't rush to conclusions. Li Mingyi's cultivation world has just completed the transformation of spiritual energy, and he is also ready to create creatures. Everyone was taken aback. Then he looked towards another world in the observation room. That's Li Mingyi's graduation project, the world of cultivation. I saw Li Mingyi floating in a misty and vast expanse. Looking down at the earth below. Like banished immortals. This is also a unique temperament of the cultivation world. And in his hand, he was holding a large amount of lus, rapidly absorbing the spiritual energy between heaven and earth. The land of life. Oh my goodness, Li Mingyi is really willing. He actually bought so many land of life. He has a long-term perspective and knows the importance of living beings in the world. The higher the starting point and strength of living beings, the faster the divine fire will ignite. With these land of living beings, he should not fail to cultivate them. Seeing this scene, the mentors all showed an appreciative expression. The land of life belongs to a type of world resource. Relatively rare, therefore expensive. Used to cultivate creatures, there is almost no possibility of failure. And the creatures created have a very high starting point. In Li Mingyi's cultivation world, he also absorbed a massive amount of initial spiritual energy. Once born, talent will be extremely terrifying. The cultivation speed will be very fast. Soon. In the world of projection. After absorbing enough spiritual energy in the land of life, Li Mingyi, he began to create creatures. One after another, yellow soil was scattered on the ground. When the wind blows, it rises, when it falls, it becomes transformed into one human form after another. At the same time, above the world of cultivation, the divine fire hangs high. It also began to burn fiercely and continue to grow. It won't be long. He is on par with Lin Ji's Ancestral Witch World, on equal footing. P.S. Thank you all for your flowers, review tickets, monthly tickets, and tips. I didn't expect the monthly pass to break 5 so quickly. Today is bound to be 20 more. 3 things to do when reading. Read, collect, and reward. Chapter 7. Divine Fire Soaring 33 sections. You are listening at novel full.audio. Their divine fire they also surpassed Qin Mu and tied for first place. Everyone, look. The elf world of Zhao Bridge has also begun to evolve. There is also Li Yue, whose world of card repair also has considerable potential. TSK, I didn't expect it to polarize so quickly. The divine fire of the extraordinary world is all ranked in the first tier. The mentors glanced at the graduation world of all graduates. Looking at the ranking of fresh graduates once again. In the center of the observation room, there is a towering stone pillar placed. On the stone pillar, the name of each graduate is written. And the situation of their world, the degree of divine fire growth, and so on. Firstly, Lin Gu and Li Mingyi, the ancestors witchcraft civilization and the cultivation civilization, have cultivated the first batch of creatures with a divine fire value of 120. Secondly, Zhao Qiao, an elf civilization, has cultivated the first batch of creatures with a divine fire value of 110. Thirdly, Li Yue, from the world of Kashu, has cultivated the first batch of creatures with a divine fire value of 101. Fourth. Not long after, Qin Mu's divine fire ranking has been squeezed to dozens of places. And with the emergence of one extraordinary civilization after another his ranking is still gradually declining. Chu Tiange couldn't help but look regretful upon seeing this scene. Unfortunately, a good seedling has chosen the wrong direction. The gap between ordinary civilization and extraordinary civilization is really too big. Speaking. He once again looked at the technological world that Qin Mu had evolved. At this time, Qin Mu had completed the transformation of the second heaven and arrived at the third heaven. Dormitory. Qin Mu sat cross-legged, completely immersed in the world he had created. Through the simulation and deduction function of the system he has just completed the renovation of the second day. System, continue simulation, the best renovation plan for the third day. Take a deep breath. Qin Mu has once again activated the simulation and deduction function. Not long after, the optimal transformation parameters selected were obtained. Start editing the third day. The pavilions and towers of the third day have undergone earth-shaking changes once again. A structure full of modern mechanical atmosphere, shimmering with dazzling black and gold. Both defense and attack have been unprecedentedly enhanced. Boom. After completing the design of the third day, Qin Mu clearly felt that the divine fire above the 33 heavens was once again intensifying in flames. But he didn't pay too much attention. The urgent task now is to improve the 33 heavens as soon as possible. Completely create a Sci-fi version of the heavenly court. So he doesn't have any rest. After completing the third day, I climbed onto the fourth day again. Inference, transformation. Ascend to the 5th level of heaven. Inference, transformation. Ascend to the 6th level of heaven. With the completion of each transformation of the heavenly sky, his divine fire has grown to a certain extent, becoming increasingly vigorous. Jiangqing University. World Observatory. At this moment, an abnormal crowd was detected. It's already a silent silence. The mentors exchanged glances with each other. Watching the terrifying ascent speed of Qin Mu on the pillar of the divine fire ranking, I couldn't help but swallow my saliva. It's already 13th place. Ordinary civilization, ranking among a group of extraordinary civilizations. Moreover, these extraordinary civilizations have already nurtured birth spirits, but Qin Mu's world has not undergone any spiritual evolution yet. Is this Qin Mu going against the sky? After a brief loss of consciousness, everyone rose again. Their expressions were somewhat unnatural. The 33 heavenly giant towers in the projection of Qin Mu's world constantly remind them this is a technological world. Belongs to a type of ordinary civilization. Originally, in the ranking on the divine fire stone pillar, there was a clear distinction between extraordinary civilization and ordinary civilization. But now, amidst a group of extraordinary civilizations, a common civilization has fallen into chaos. And they quickly discovered the reason. Every time Qin Mu transforms a heavy sky, the divine fire will rise by a certain amount. Although the increase is not significant each time, but it can't withstand the height of the building built by Qin Mu. Chu Tiange looked at the towering 33-story heavenly tower in front of him. The corners of his mouth twitched a few times and he said, 33 layers. This also means the divine fire of Qin Mu will rise by 33% as a result. School. Principal, it's already 17th day, and Qin Mu's ranking has risen to 3rd place. Suddenly, a mentor swallowed his saliva and pointed to the stone pillar to remind everyone. Chu Tiange turned around and looked at the stone pillar. Thirdly, Qin Mu, with an ordinary technological civilization and a highly evolved world, has a divine fire value of 108. Looking at the information inside the stone pillar, Chu Tiange's eyes lit up. He keenly sensed 4 words. Extremely perfect. The ranking on the stone pillar, combined with a lot of data, is also very accurate. Perhaps this is the reason why Qin Mu's divine fire skyrockets every time he transforms a heavy sky. And in the design world of other graduates, at most, it is relatively complete. No one has received an extremely comprehensive evaluation yet. Although Qin Mu's graduation project direction is ordinary civilization, the difficulty is relatively small. But it can design ordinary civilization to an extremely perfect level. This is not something that anyone can do. Feilu's novel, Fei Wants You to Look Good. Chapter 8. Lingxiao Palace, Sky Mothership. You are listening at Novel Full.Audio. Unfortunately, he took the wrong path. Turn around. Looking at the 33 heavenly giant tower shimmering with metallic colors, Chu Tiange's expression was filled with regret and complexity. At this moment, a mentor's voice interrupted him again. Principal, look. Qin Mu has entered the 18th Heavenly Festival and is already 2nd place. Chu Tiange was taken aback. Looking at the divine fire stone pillar again. Discover all mentors, they have become stunned and speechless. 2nd place. Qin Mu, ordinary technological civilization, world evolution is extremely perfect, divine fire value 113. But it didn't take long. This value and ranking changes have occurred again. The previous 18 days have been continuously renovated, and Qin Mu's current renovation has become more familiar. The speed is also getting faster and faster. Quickly entered the 19th day. Shenhua welcomes a new round of surge. 1st place. Qin Mu, ordinary technological civilization, world evolution is extremely perfect, divine fire value is 128. The second place position it is the ancestral world of Lin Gu and Li Mingyi, the world of cultivation. Two extremely powerful extraordinary civilizations. Underpinned by an ordinary civilization. In the observation room. Becoming silent again. At the same time. Dormitory. Qin Mu sat cross-legged. I am fully devoted to deducing the next 33 heavens. It's already 20 days, but the speed of the divine fire's growth is a bit fast. Lift your head. Qin Mu glanced at the divine fire at the top. Every time he transforms a day later, his divine fire will skyrocket. But he didn't care about it. He only wants to create a complete Sci-fi version of the heavenly court now. Improve every day to the extreme. System, continue to deduce the renovation plan for the 21st day. With the assistance of the system, he can easily find the optimal design solution and modify world parameters. And the 33rd Heavenly Machine Platform integrates the four fundamental forces transformed from its original source. The more perfect it is, the entire technological world will also become more perfect. It can be said that the 33rd Heavenly Machine Platform is the foundation of this world. Soon. The 22nd day. The 23rd day. The 24th day. The 29th day. The 30th day. Qin Mu finally arrived in front of an incredibly magnificent palace. This is a palace built entirely by machinery. Emit an indescribable aura. Lingxiao Treasure Hall. Looking at the magnificent palace in front of me, Qin Mu's heart and mind couldn't help but surge. This palace can be said to be the core and hub of the entire heavenly court. It is also a memory that flows in the blood of every dragon person. System, deduce the optimal solution on how to maximize the combat effectiveness of the Lingxiao Palace while maintaining its majestic appearance. Take a deep breath. Qin Mu summoned the system and activated the simulation and deduction function. Ding. Loading various data from the Lingxiao Palace. Ding. Data loading completed, simulation and deduction in progress. Next up. The system began massive calculations. After a full 3 hours. The system sound only sounds again. Ding. There are 983,721 reasonable renovation plans for the performance. The best solution has been selected from it, which can transform the Lingxiao Palace into an airborne carrier. Qin Mu's eyes lit up. The system quickly transmitted the simulation results of the performance to him. A mother ship suspended in the ancient void, emitting a terrifying and destructive aura, stood proudly in all directions. In the mother ship, carrying countless top-notch technological weapons. It is all composed of the four fundamental forces. What a space carrier! Seeing such a scene, Qin Mu couldn't help but clench his hands. Start referring to the parameters above. Start renovating the Lingxiao Palace in front of you. This renovation extremely complex. Because there are too many parameters involved, there are too many areas he needs to modify. If it weren't for the correct answer provided by the system, he would not have been able to complete the renovation work of the space carrier. That's it. After a full day and a night, Qin Mu's face was full of fatigue. Finally, it's about to be completed. He took a deep breath and began to modify the last data parameter about the Lingxiao Palace. Boom! The entire 33-day sky suddenly experienced a violent vibration. As he completes his movements, the entire Lingxiao Palace took off with a loud bang, breaking away from the 30th heavenly realm. Start transform form. Transformed into a mother ship full of modern technology, floating in the void. A terrifying aura emanated throughout the body. Qin Mu looked at the airborne mother ship in front of him, his mind full of shock. The Lingxiao Treasure Hall transformed directly, rising from the ground and transforming into a starry battleship. This kind of impact, it's just too direct. It's a pity. I haven't developed any top-notch technological weapons yet. Otherwise, if I were to assemble the spacecraft, I'm afraid even the real immortals wouldn't be able to stop it. Looking at the vacant weapon installation slots around the mothership, Qin Mu couldn't help but look forward to it. At the same time, above the 33 heavens, the divine fire, which had already turned into a bucket of water, was sensed and once again burst into flames. Boom! The flames became increasingly vigorous. Seems to burn through the entire technological world. 3 things to do when reading. Read, collect, and reward. Chapter 9. Divine Fire Value 863, New Record. You are listening at Novel Full.Audio. At the same time, Jiangqing University. World Observatory. All the mentors were staring intently at the changes on the stone pillar. I dare not even blink my eyes. Just now, they keenly perceive that the top-ranked divine fire value on the stone pillar an unprecedented surge has occurred. First place. Qin Mu, Ordinary Technological Civilization, Perfect World Evolution, Divine Fire Value 863. And the second place it is Lin Gu who created the Ancestral Witch World. But his divine fire value is only 168. Compared to that, it's pitifully rare. A while has passed. The mentors just turned their heads and exchanged a glance. What exactly happened just now? Why? After he transformed 30 times, his divine fire value began to skyrocket. Did you see that palace just now? It turned out to be a ship. It's such an exquisite structure. I'll take this palace. I'll give 500,000 world coins, don't compete with me. The scene of Lingxiao Palace changing its form just now. Let them broaden their horizons. The overall mechanical structure and exquisite instrument design. A mothership full of majesty and deterrence. Suspended in the void. And there are also those vacant weapon slots among them. Everything is impacting their hearts and minds. I would like to ask if his divine fire value. Has he broken our school's graduation record? Suddenly, a mentor cautiously reminded me. Everyone was stunned. Later, I noticed the current divine fire value of Qin Mu on the stone pillar. Everyone took a deep breath of cold air. Good guy. 863, I remember, for hundreds of years, the best graduation record was only a divine fire value of 729, right? The key is that he is an ordinary civilization. How could the divine fire value of an ordinary civilization be so terrifying? Everyone looked at the numerous extraordinary civilizations being crushed by Qin Mu. His expression is extremely complex. That's not what the book says, wow. There is a chasm between ordinary civilization and extraordinary civilization that is almost insurmountable. But now Qin Mu, on his own, overwhelmed a group of extraordinary civilizations. And by the way, it also broke the record held by the school for hundreds of years. And among the mentors. As the principal, Chu Tiange stared intently at the stone pillar. My gaze remained fixed on the word, perfect. The focus is different from other mentors. He immediately saw the evaluation of the stone pillar. The technological world evolved by Qin Mu. Surprisingly, it has surpassed the previous extremely perfect evaluation and reached a perfect level. This also indicates that the world evolved by Qin Mu will have no flaws. The future can develop in a virtuous cycle. Put it on the market. Any perfect world can be skyrocketed in price. And it's the kind that can be encountered but not sought after. Genius. Although he is very low-key, I can tell at a glance that he is actually a genius. Chu Tiange turned around. Gazing at Qin Mu in the projected world, his expression became increasingly excited. Graduate dormitories. All students who are currently working on their graduation projects are uniformly arranged in the graduate dormitories. Here, they will start a 1-month graduation project. Until 1 month later, there will be a unified ranking of grades. But during this period, everyone is eligible to view the ranking of Shenhua among all graduates. However, after seeing the top-ranked divine fire value, everyone felt like they were going crazy. Sleeping slot. What's the situation? It's only been 10 days since graduation project, how could someone's divine fire value soar to over 800? Hush. Good guy. What kind of fierce person is this? Ordinary civilization. Surprisingly ordinary civilization. Could it be that the school's score statistics were wrong? Lin Ji's Ancestral Witch World, Li Mingyi's Cultivation World, and Zhao Qiao's Elf World have all been suppressed. Breaking the record. In just 10 days, this Qin Mu has broken the record for graduation. The first reaction of graduates is disbelief. When I think of the flame like divine fire in my own world, they feel like they have learned about dogs in the past 4 years. At the same time, in the dormitory, just finished renovating the 30th day. Qin Mu is planning to work hard and complete the renovation of the remaining 3 heavens. I received a message from the school affairs office. Let me go to the principal's office. He couldn't help but frown. But he still put down his simulation and left the dormitory for the principal's office. Dudu. Come in. Outside the principal's room, Qin Mu pushed open the door. Principal, are you looking for me? He looked at an old man with white hair in front of him, somewhat puzzled. The person in front of me is Qu Tianhe. He traveled for 3 years and was very clear about the identity of Qu Tianhe. Hundreds of years ago, when Qu Tianhe took over as the president of Jiangqing University, he had already reached the level of a superior god. The world that has evolved within its body is said to be one of the top 5 extraordinary civilizations, belonging to the living legend within Jiangqing University. Here we are, sit down. However, after seeing him, Qu Tianhe didn't show any airs. But he said very kindly, it's like this, your divine fire value broke the school's graduation record for hundreds of years. Qin Mu was taken aback for a moment. During this period, he has been obsessed with creating a Sci-fi version of the Heavenly Court. Although I know that the divine fire has been rising. But I didn't know that I had unknowingly broken the record of Jiangqing University. P.S. Thank you all for your flowers and feedback. The author will continue coding now. Until 12 p.m. tonight, never stop. Feilu's novel, Fei Wants You to Look Good.